Hello there. So today we are gonna go over Nova as if you are a consultant or you work with multiple clients at the same time and you want to collaborate with those clients or organizations and you wanna measure how much time you are working with those clients and how much time your team is working with those clients. So in this scenario, you see here that we are inside the projects page inside Nova, and in this page I have different clients. In this case I have 3 clients and I'm working on their social media with all of them. And because this is something I work with clients often, what I do is that I have a workflow for social media strategy. So if I go to projects and I want to start working with a new client, I see here my own process. And this process can be used with any new client, and I can change it or I can use it as it is. So when I use this project, I will add the name of that company. Let's say it's called Red, and I'm developing the social media strategy for 2021. I create the projects and automatically here I have the process that I have for social media strategy. Of course, if this process is different for this client and I want to add different or new sessions to this workflow, I can do that. I can add tasks as well. And let's say I have a meeting with this client, and that meeting in that meeting we are going to be discussing some ideas. I will call it meeting 1. And because in that meeting I want to share ideas and photos and I want to get their feedback, I'm gonna use a whiteboard. I'm gonna add a whiteboard, and automatically I have this whiteboard. I'm gonna invite the client, so I will share this link, and automatically the client can join me, but their team can also join me. To ensure we can hear each other, I'm gonna add a call room in here, and whenever they join, they can start adding sticky notes, but we can also hear each other and work together through this meeting. Whenever the meeting is done, I will go back and mark the meeting as done. The next session in this workflow is a competitive analysis. So as I see here, I have a competitive analysis, and as you see, I have my logo. I provide information about how they can contact us if they have questions. And something key in here is that the client can work asynchronously with their team without my help during the process, so they can start developing this and evaluating their competitors without my help. Why? Because I added here a step-by-step process that they can follow, so they can click on each step. Automatically will teach them how to do this, and if I find that all these steps don't provide enough information, I can always edit them here, and I can add a video, I can add an image, or I can add even more text to describe and guide them through the process. Whenever I'm done, I just need to save it and they will automatically be guided through the process. What is important here is that if they are working asynchronously, I should add a start and due date so they know when I expect to have some information in and when I expect to go through this session with them. So whenever they complete the steps, they will mark the steps as complete, as you see here. So when I go back, I see if the client is completing the steps, and I know that if they are working with their team and other collaborators are working with them, I will be able to track progress as they move forward. when I'm working with this client, I may have tasks that are internal, and I may have steps that are internal for my team. So when I add a session or a task here, let's say I'm actually gonna add a task, and let's say I want to call the client and ask for feedback. And this is an internal task that the client can't see. And I want to provide information and a description, effort for my team, and even assign someone in my team, like Claire. Automatically, my team will be notified that they need to do this, and the client will have no access to this space. So actually, something that is quite interesting about Nova is that this space that you see here is private to your team, and the client have their own workspace, and I will show you that. Before I do that, what is interesting about working with Nova as a consultant is that you have a lot of information about where the client is and in each point of the process, in each phase of the process, and you can also see where your team is. So whenever I start working on with this client on this project, I can automatically add a timer in here, and I will be able to track my time and my team's time and evaluate if we are spending too much time on this client or no. Sometimes consultants work with clients for 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, sometimes even 5 hours a month. So they need to make sure their team is not spending too much time with a client that is only working with them for 5 or 10 hours. So their team can track their time, and whenever they track their time, they will be able to follow all of this here and get a report and have categories even for what the different categories they may have for this. Going back to the project, as you see, I can create a workflow. So if we go back here, the initial workflow that I had was very basic, maybe because that's the standard way to start, but each client is different. In the case that you always follow the same workflow for all your clients, you will create the workflow at all the sessions you need. And whenever those sessions are ready, you will save that workflow here, and you can reuse it at any point or edit at any point. Going back to the projects, let's go to this one in here, and I'm gonna add a few start and due dates. So now this project here, I'm gonna share it with a client, and I want the client to have access to all these sessions. I actually want to make sure the client works asynchronously with their team. They can collaborate with their team in this space, and I will have a meeting once they went through the whole process and evaluate what they've done. So to do that, I will share this link with my client and their team. And when I share this link, as you see, they will have a new space for them. Nova is gonna create an agenda for them, and the agenda will include all these sessions that I'm inviting them to automatically. So as you see here, this client is invited to multiple sessions. The first session is the welcome session, and I decided that when a client joins our our program or our company, and it becomes a client, they will have, the first session will be a welcome session where they watch a video, they learn more about our organization, maybe learn more about our team and how to contact our team. And I can edit this and decide how I introduce this new client to our company. They will go through that, they may have a start and due date and move on to the next session. In the next session, the client will have all the steps they need to follow on the right side, and in here they could work with their team. So when they are working with their team, there's this space that I have chose for this session works a lot like a whiteboard. So they will see all the cursors of their team members, and if I'm working with them, they will see me as well. And I can collaborate with them asynchronously, so the whole team can just follow the steps and do this on their own time, or they can have a meeting and discuss all of this together. Either way, what is key in here is that you as a consultant can work asynchronously with your clients. They can follow all these steps, and whenever you decide to have a meeting and go through the process with them, you can do that, but it reduces the amount of times you need to meet with the client, and they have all the information they need in there, and their clients and their teams as well. So whenever they follow this process, as you see, they see here all the steps they need to complete, and if I mark a step as complete, they will be able to see that things are getting done and they are moving forward. Whenever a session is marked completed by you or is past due, will be sent to the complete sessions, so they always know what they need to be doing. The next session in this case, as you see, didn't start, but if they want to see what's going on and what they should be expecting for this session, they can click enter and they will be able to see the things that you have prepared for them with, again, all the steps they need to follow. Going back to the guest sessions, as you see here, Nova creates an agenda for your clients. Your clients have a roadmap to success, and they know exactly what to do at every phase of the project. They can collaborate with you, and they can collaborate with their teams as well. For you, as a consultant, you can create processes that keeps in mind your internal processes plus the processes that you want your clients to follow. So when I go here and I add a session, and let's say I want to gather information about their branding and their mission statement and their values, and I'm just gonna ask them a few questions about it, and I want the whole team to participate in this session, so I get a sense of like how they work and if the team is aligned and how they think. So I'm gonna call it branding intro, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna start a session, I'm gonna add the steps, and I don't want a whiteboard, I want a list of the steps. And in here, what I'm gonna be doing is saying, tell me about your brand. I'm gonna choose notes, and then I'm gonna keep the answers private, so when the whole team answers, they don't see their answers, and I can evaluate if the team is aligned and they have a similar perception of the brand. I will keep adding steps and choose the resources that will be better for each question and the settings, the privacy settings that I think are better for each question as well. In here, what I can do is that I can add the steps for my team. So as a consultant or as an organization that work with clients, I can have my preparation only steps or steps that is only for my team and will help my team internally help the client. This is also very, very helpful if you're hiring new employees and you want them to follow a specific process and guide your clients in a specific way, and you can leave notes that will help them know exactly how they can do that. So use the privacy settings to guide your clients and guide your team at the same time as well. They don't see all those steps. So keep in mind that you can play with privacy settings and resources, and you can use different spaces for each phase and for each goal that you may have, and you can automate this process as much as you want. But what is important here is that you know that Nova is very flexible and is always easy to use, whether you are part of the team member or whether you are the client. So that is all for today. Thank you for choosing Nova, and see you soon.